This is full kilt, capture the flag, and I'm just gonna get right into it here. This that I'm wearing right here is called a kilt, and these are called pleats. When you are full kilt, only then can you touch the flag. That is why it's called full kilt, capture the flag. It's also designed without a jail and also designed to incorporate younger and older players pretty equally. So let me show you how that works. I, because I am taller than a standard claymore, am a Highlander, and that is why I'm wearing the color yellow. Yellow and green will indicate Highlanders. And Tyler, if you come over here real quick. Here's Tyler, shorter than a standard claymore, and he is wearing red. And he's on my team. Yellow and red are on one team, and blue and green are on the other. Ellis is just barely taller than the standard claymore over here. He is on the green and blue team, so he's green because he's a Highlander. The way this works is that I and Ellis, so Ellis could not pull the pleat off of Tyler. He couldn't do that because he is a Highlander, and Highlanders cannot pull lads' pleats. But he can pull mine, of course, because we're both Highlanders, so he can do that. Tyler can pull Ellis's pleat, though, if he so chose. And so it does go the other way. Highlanders can pull only Highlanders' pleats, but lads can pull both lads and Highlanders' pleats. If you have all of your pleats pulled off, you are then in the scud, and you can neither, you must exit enemy territory right away if that happens, and you can also not defend in your own. You can't pull enemy pleats if you are in the scud, so that's a very important thing to know. So we've got those. We've also got seekers. If we want, we can use seekers, which will wear these headbands right here of their team's color. Seekers have to stay on these trails when they're in enemy territory, and they can not be tagged, but they can't touch the flag or any pleats either. And so that's kind of the just kind of an optional role of having kind of a spy or communicator. We'll also have some gamekeepers, which will be wearing these sashes, and at least one gamekeeper will always be here at the center point at all times. Speaking of the center point, this is the center point. It's in the center of the whole field. We are currently in the DMZ or demilitarized zone where no one can be tagged, but here in the center of the whole field is where we'll meet at the beginning and end of each round. The center point has pleats on it, and we'll get into why later. Another thing we've got here is the rally point. So the rally point looks like this. It will not be in this location. They'll actually be maybe about 100 yards in either direction. Each team has their own rally point. They have a map attached to them, and that is where each team will strategize and also store pleats. And these are the tetrahedrons that are the flags. That way, no matter how they fall, they always stand up, and yeah, so they're pretty cool. So that's kind of definitions of the various components of full kilt, capture the flag. Now let's get into kind of the territory that we're in. Like I said, right now we are standing in the DMZ. We are in the demilitarized zone, which is defined by these two trails on either side. Once you step on those trails, you're in the DMZ. Once you step off those trails in either direction, you're in the respective territories. There are trails. Please refer to the map in the website as far as what the actual boundaries of the entire field are. Every single boundary is a trail, and they're all fairly easy to understand, but definitely take a look at those because there are boundary trails as well as just some other trails that traverse through each territory. So at the beginning of each round, the teams will have about 10 minutes. And during that 10 minutes, the teams will strategize and place flags. And by strategize, you're going to want to designate who's going to be your attackers, who's going to be your defenders. And what you're going to have to do is actually make sure the attackers have full kilt, that they have all three pleats. And so defenders will give their pleats to the attackers. At the beginning of the round, we may also be giving some additional pleats to the teams to be able to stock up their attackers in that way and get things flowing a little quicker. Remember that when you are in the scud, if you don't have any pleats on whatsoever, of course you cannot be in enemy territory. You have to come back from enemy territory, but you also cannot defend. And so you cannot defend your own territory when you have zero as well. The way this is going to work is, let's say in this instance that Ellis is a defender, I'm an attacker, and I'm running to go get a flag, but he pulls one of my flags. So go ahead and pull it. There you go. So he has one of my flags now, which is yellow, and he can take it to the center point. So he takes it to the center point, attaches the yellow, and he wants a green one to fill himself up. Look at that. So he can attach that to himself to get himself to full kilt status, so he could go on the offensive and he could go get the flag. Alternatively, come here, real quick. Alternatively, go ahead and take that off again to take one of them off. If he didn't need it, if he wanted to stay defensive and offer this to one of his teammates, if they weren't immediately around, he could attach it to the rally point. So go ahead and attach it to the rally point. So there he is, attaching it to his rally point. Now the rally points will actually be further into the forest, but that's the way the rally points work is if you make that exchange at the center point to exchange an enemy pleat for your own color pleat, then you can take it to your rally point to store it. And that's where your teammates will come when they need more pleats to get restocked. And so that's going to kind of be, instead of a jail, that's where you're going to want to go. And if your team is is actively pulling pleats off of attackers, then you should have pleats there at the rally point for your teammates to restock with and continue on the offensive. So that's how it works. It's a little complicated, but I like that way more than having a jail because it keeps things flowing and it keeps a lot of movement as well as some teamwork and coordination. So that's how that works. Once again, this is called full kilt capture the flag, which means that you have to have full kilts like Ellis has here, 1, 2, 3, to touch the enemy flag. And in this instance, that's not actually the enemy flag, but it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead, let's talk about flag placement real quick. The flag has to be in a clearing, which means more than 20 feet from stuff. So this would be no good. We're only about 10 feet from the tree here. So let's go ahead and put it in a clearing. So there we are. The flag is now in a clearing. So that's a good placement right there. Here's kind of the trickiest rule of them all is, let's say I'm defending this flag. So I'm here defending this flag. I am not allowed within 20 feet of my own flag. And so I'm not allowed to be there. About 20 feet is probably right about here. So that's as close as I can get there. So if Ellis is attacking and he comes in and he stands next to the flag but doesn't touch it yet, I actually can't touch him. He's in a safe zone right now. But as soon as he touches that flag, then I can chase him. And he has to, so come back over here. So I actually got one of his pleats. And because I got one of his pleats, he's no longer full kilt and he has to drop the flag. So there it is, he dropped it. I could pull more pleats off of him here. I'll hold on to that for now. He should probably run away because I could keep pulling pleats off of him. There's no limit to doing that. But what's also interesting is once he drops it, he's actually safe within 20 feet of it. So once it's dropped, have to once again make that barrier because otherwise I could guard the flag like right on top of it like this. And that just makes it no fun. And so I have to then get once again about 20 feet away. Ellis is once again safe actually right there, right next to the flag. If he has a teammate who has green that could come up and restock him, that would actually enable him to once again grab the flag. And so there's a lot of kind of coordination and teamwork. It'll help to be with a team to be able to do that. But I could not touch the flag. If this is my flag, I cannot touch it at any point. I can't put it back to where it was. Once it's dropped, it stays where it's at. And so the attacking team can keep moving the flag downfield towards the center point to score that flag. Yeah, so that's the way flag works. One more thing I want to say is that if all my pleats are gone and I'm in the scud like that, I cannot pull his pleats. So he could actually just come right up, grab the flag and run away and I can't do anything about it. So that's one thing, is that you always want to have at least one pleat on your kilt to be able to defend your flag as well. So once again, here we are in the DMZ at the center point, and this is where you score your flag. So here's Ellis. He once again has full kilt, so he's got all of his pleats on him and he is bringing the flag in. Once he crosses, there's this trail over here. Once he crosses that trail into the DMZ, he doesn't even have to run anymore technically because defenders can no longer pull his pleats. But to score the flag, it must be placed at least one of the tips within the center point there, just like that. So that is a scored flag, just like that. That would be a score of 1 for the blue team. So this would be like 2 for the blue team. And then if you finished with something like this, this would be, 2 for the blue team, 1 for the red team, and blue team would win that round. Just some last things I want to cover are just that, violently pushing, shoving, wrestling, or using the flag as a weapon. You can't actually use the flag to defend yourself, to hit people, to ward off other defenders. The flag is only for carrying, not for using as a defensive weapon or offensive weapon for that matter. Can't yank the flag away from another player. Like, the only way to stop a player is to pull their pleats. Once you pull their pleats, give them a call out. If they don't know that their pleat was pulled, say, hey, I pulled your pleat, and they'll know to drop the flag right there in that spot. Don't cheat. Cheating can be going out of bounds. The boundaries are pretty straightforward, but if you go out of bounds, just come back in. I'm more so referring to actually utilizing sneaking out of bounds intentionally. Don't do that. Don't move your flag once the round starts. Don't make your pleats harder to pull by covering them up, like you can put your shirt over them or something like that. Make sure the pleats are on the outermost layer on top of that. And of course, don't steal pleats that you haven't earned. This is a kind of at your own risk situation. I can show you right here. We've got, let me see, let's do this. We've got some cactus right here beneath us, just a few inches off the ground, but those are all over the place here, and you're going to want to keep an eye out for those cactus. I recommend not crawling generally here. That's just not going to be a good idea. Stay on your feet. Yeah, if you need to stop playing for any reason, just take off your kilt and just hold it and walk back. If anybody gives you trouble around here, just give them my name, my phone number. It's in the information, and we'll deal with that. But be respectful regardless. And we're all friends here. Play honorably and come ready. Play hard. Let's do this.